Now, in a hospital, if you're a very strong yellow, you're going to be really good at strategy. You're going to be really good at vision and direction. If you're a strong blue, you're going to be brilliant at managing the budgets. If you're a strong green, you're fantastic at administration. And if you're strong red, you're going to be very good with the patients. Now remember, 75% of people only are good at 2. They only show preferences for 2. Nobody usually has all 4. So there's always a weakness. And that is why teams are better than individuals. Because if you put a yellow in a green job, you've got a problem. If you put a blue in a red job, you have a serious problem with customer complaints. Alright? Not good. So sometimes what this helps you do is it helps you put the right people in the right jobs. As a leader, this helps you select the best teams. Because if you need filing, administration, organisation, you need greens. Nurses, for example, your perfect profile is to be good with patients and to be good at following procedures. So reds and greens are brilliant for the nursing thinking profile. Doctors in India tend to be good at the blue because they have to have facts and evidence, but they also seem to be very good with the patients because of the nature. Some do. But they also need to be a bit of green. Okay? Yesterday we were missing an awful lot of yellow. Okay? Once you're missing one of these quadrants, there's a gap in what's required to run a hospital properly, to run any organisation properly. Because which one of those can you do without? None. You need all 4. But remember, we haven't got all 4 in one head. It's very, very rare. Only 5% of the world population are what we call whole-brained. That is why teams work better. This is a really, really useful tool, and a useful tool for leadership of teams. The starting point for you is to know what you are. Okay? In decision making, yellows will always ask the question, why? Blues will always ask the question, what? What are we doing? What are the priorities? Greens will always ask the question, how are we doing it? When is it happening? When's it going to start? When's it going to finish? Where is the plan? And reds will always ask the question, who's going to be affected? How is this going to affect my team? So if you want to make what they call whole-brained decisions when you're speaking to people so that you influence everyone, answer those 4 questions. Why are you doing it? What are we doing? How are we doing it? And who's going to be affected? And then you will click with every single person in the audience because you've just done the full spectrum of thinking. Okay? When you're doing presentations to people in the audience, yellows love pictures. They like images. Blues love quotes and facts. Give them evidence. Greens like to see it nicely structured, that you're following a plan. And reds love the stories. So you can actually, again, click with everybody in your audience. If you're delivering to a group of nurses, go really heavy on the red and the green, because that's how they think. If you're delivering to a group of doctors, Indian doctors, go heavy on the blue, green, and the red. If you're in England, just blue, green. Don't worry about the red. Alright? In terms of appearances, the worst part of your personality, yellows tend to turn up late. You can sometimes be a little bit unfocused, and you can sometimes be likely to guess. You don't need the information. You're okay with uncertainty. Blues can be quite cold and rigid. Just tell me what it's going to cost. They don't want to know about anything else. Can be quite short with you. Greens can be very, very routine conscious and sometimes can get boring because they're very predictable. And reds can sometimes be over emotional. Okay? In communication, and this is the biggest one, yellows always want minimal detail. If you have a yellow boss and you want to connect with your yellow boss, make it short and sweet. Have you got a minute? And give it a minute. That's not licensed for 10 minutes. Right? Because they want it short and sweet. Sorry?
Quick.
Yes, quick. In and out quick. Have you got, and you even say, have you got a minute? Make a point, get out. That's the way you deal with the yellow. When you're writing the yellow an email, short and sweet. Okay? When you're dealing with a blue, give them facts and figures. Give them the information. Otherwise, you're not connecting with the blue. Tell them what it's going to cost. Okay, have that worked out. When you're dealing with a green, give them all the information step by step by step. Okay, there's 3 things we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do, the second thing we're going to do, the third thing we're going to do. They need step by step. Do not spring a surprise on a green. They don't like it. Okay? You can, for example, say for example you make an appointment with a person. If the person you're making the appointment with is yellow, you're okay to say, can we change your appointment? Because yellows don't mind the surprise. Try changing an appointment on the green. They get annoyed. They don't like that. They like advance notice. Okay, and they like to know, what if it goes wrong? What happens? Okay, so these are the behaviours. If you can fit your behaviours into each of these colours, you will click with anyone, regardless of what you are. Alright? Reds like to feel loved. When you're talking to a red, you look at them. Blues maybe not even look at you. Blues might be talking to you but not even giving you eye contact. Reds, you got to give the eye contact. Okay, you got to make them feel loved. Alright, we'll do that one. In terms of strengths, I'm not going to read all this out, just going to pick 1 or 2. The strength of a yellow is that they can see the big picture. They can recognise possibilities and they can see change. The strength of a green is that they're good at reading the small print. They're good at covering all the detail. Okay? The strength of a blue is that they're very good at gathering facts and information. And the strength of a red is they're brilliant with people. Okay? In terms of frustrations, yellows get really annoyed if you don't do it quick enough. And if you give a yellow too much information, they don't want to know. They will drown in the detail. If you go right to the opposite of the green, they actually get very annoyed if you're too fast. And they're very annoyed if they don't get the detail. It's the opposite. Blues, they really, really do not like informality. Okay? Say for example, you meet a blue, right? The first that you don't want to say, how you doing? How you doing? That will not do with the blue. That'll do with the red, but that won't do with the blue. What you need to do with the blue is, pleased to meet you. Different. You need to be formal with the blue. Blues don't like it when you're informal. Blues also like you to give them their title. You call them doctor or you call them sir or whatever. They do not like not to be given their title. Okay, they like to be treated with respect. Whereas reds, you can be a little bit more friendly with a red. Alright? And reds don't like it when they don't get that personal touch. Now, one of the things that you need to be able to do as well is to be able to spot a yellow. Spot it. How do you spot these people? How do you know what people are? Well, yellows, straight away, the first thing I look for in a yellow is style. Yellows love their image. Okay, so check out their shoes, check out their jewellery, check out the cufflinks, check out is the shoes polished, very into their style. That's a clue straight away about a yellow, right? And some of them will dress casually, but it'll be smart casual, right? And they're very flamboyant, a yellow. When you meet a blue, a clue straight away to a blue, suit. Suit and tie, everything's quite formal, quite rigid in their way, and it's dear sir, very, very formal. Okay? When you meet a green, it's all about detail. Everything's matching. If you're in their office, you'll get a clue. Everything will be tidy. They won't be disorganized. Even if I step into a person's car, I can tell what colour they are. Okay? If the car is very untidy and there's bits and pieces of stuff, they're probably more of a yellow than they are a green. Some yellows can be flamboyant but untidy. Alright? And if it's a red, you'll know, because reds are very warm in their personality. Alright? So you have to be able to sort of suss this. You can make a mistake in your introduction, people. I'll give you a clue of, even I did this and I know this stuff inside out. I was at a BT conference, well, I was at it this year, but the year before in BT Tower in London. And one of the top chief executives is blue off the Richter scale. Really strong blue. And he'd been with us all day. We'd had the meeting the night before. He knows who I am. I knew who he was. But he decided, because the conference had gone so well, that he was going to jump up and finish the conference at the end. Take the credit. That was fair enough. That was okay. And I was doing facilitation all day, introducing all the speakers. And he turned around, and whenever I was introducing him, I wanted to make sure that I got his job title and his qualifications right, because blue, you do not make a mistake like that, right? So I went over to him, and I said, now remember, we'd been to dinner the night before, and we'd been together all day. And I went over to him and I said, Mike, now that's red, because I'm red. I says, Mike, could you tell me what your full title is again? Now this is exactly what he did, right? And I said, Mike, could you tell me what your full title is again? This is what he did. What? Just took me from top to bottom as if, how dare you not know my title? It was a blue. Now he didn't say anything. It was just, you see it in his face. And I went, uh-oh, red-blue clash. Not good. I don't like this. So immediately I changed. And I went, Mike, I know your title, but I'm getting up onto the stage to introduce you, and I certainly don't want to do that wrong. So could you just clarify it for me again? And he went, oh no, no problem, no problem. Not at all. Right? So you got to be very, very careful. Blues like their formality. Do not try to do warm with a blue. They don't really relate to that. Okay? But you need to spot when you get that disconnect. And even though I'm a red, I go blue. Even though I don't particularly like green, I can go green. I can do detail when you want detail. Okay? This is the flexibility of this. Okay?